Alright there guys, and welcome back to another video. Today it is my first list video in about 4 months. That's right, list videos are finally back on the channel. And today we're going to be talking about the Quintessential Quintuplets again. I told you I was obsessed with this show. So we've covered season 1 a week and a half ago, we covered season 2 just a few days ago, and now it's time for us to rank each of the quintuplets from worst to best. So, without further ado, let us get straight into it. Coming in at the number 5 spot is Ichika. Now then, Ichika comes in at number 5 mainly because of what happened, the things she did near the end of season 2. But, to be fair to the characters, we are going to be covering what I do like about them first, and then what I don't like. So, starting off with what I do like about Ichika is her confidence. The fact that Ichika's confidence is actually really, really impressive, because when it comes, she's a high school student, and she has an acting job at the same time, and she manages to do incredibly well at her acting job, on top of all the schoolwork that she's got to do, and then the tutoring that she has with Futuro. The fact that she's very, very confident and good at her acting job, it's quite an admirable thing. Now, as soon as I mentioned Ichika's name the first time, hopefully she appeared on screen for you guys, and now you can see her. If everything has gone to plan, then you should be able to see her now and not me. But we'll have to see when I try and edit the video. And the other thing that I very much admire about Ichika is her maturity. In how when she and the other quintuplets moved out of their big house into that smaller one, Ichika took it upon herself to take responsibility at the very beginning, to pay all of the rent for that house. She did, of course, tell the other quintuplets they need to now. She did then tell the other 4 they need to help out so they can split the rent 5 ways. But to begin with, Ichika did the rent all by herself, which is a very admirable thing about her. However, let's get into the dislikes I have for her, which is why she comes in at the bottom of the list. Season 2, episode 9, she disguises as Miku to confess to Futuro because she's too scared to do it as herself. So she disguises as someone she already knows that likes him. Incredibly sneaky thing to do. Then she tries to blackmail Yotsuba into putting herself, the 2 of them, and Futuro together in a group and keep the other 3 away. Very, 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 very sadistic thing to do. Then she disguises as Miku a second time, but luckily gets caught out by Miku and Yotsuba this time. And then she even does it again for a 3rd time. She disguises as Miku for a 3rd time. Only this time, Futuro had figured it out and knows that she's not really Miku, she's Ichika. But, in fairness, Ichika did redeem herself a little bit at the end, very, very, very end of season 2. With the way when she decided to help Miku with her confession to Futuro rather than keep trying to get in the way. But yeah, that is why Ichika comes in at number 5. Coming in at the number 4 spot is Nino. Now, if you'd have asked me where would I have put Nino if we were basing her character off season 1 only, she would be number 5. So yeah, season 2 has helped Nino move up to number 4. What do I like about her? Well, the first thing I like about her is the fact that she is the most unique quintuplet out of the 5 of them in terms of her appearance, in the way of she is the most feminine of all of them. She's the only one that looks really feminine, which does make her stand out. And something I didn't even really notice, like something I didn't put together, is look at Nino in season 1. She has long hair, doesn't she? And then in season 2 she cuts it. That in a way that actually symbolizes her character development from the way she used to act to the way she acts now. The way she changes, the way she sees that she's not been a good person and she wants to fix that. That's huge for her. Like, her character development is a huge part of season 2, and it's done very, very well. And also, she's extremely good at cooking, which will always go in her favour. But the dislike what do I dislike about Nino? Mainly simply her brattiness throughout all of season 1, really. That's why she would have been number 5 in season 1, because of how bratty she acted towards Futaro, and the rest of them. But her character development and changing of how she acted in season 2 was a big plus point for her, which is why she moves up a spot. And also, I think Nino with short hair actually looks better than Nino with long hair. What do you think? But yeah, that is why Nino comes in at number 4. Coming in at the number 3 spot, the very middle of the list, is Yotsuba. Why does Yotsuba come smack bang in the middle? Well, let's go over what I like about her. The first thing I like about her is her enthusiasm, because if we go back all the way to season 1 and remember that when Futaro told the quintuplets that he would be their tutor, the only one of the quintuplets that was fully on board with Futaro tutoring them from the get-go was Yotsuba. She was the one that wanted to learn the most. She was the most eager to do so. Which was a huge help for Futaro, because he always had somebody on his side. If the other girls ever ganged up on him, he always had Yotsuba on his side for that, thanks to her enthusiasm. The other thing that I really like about Yotsuba is the fact that she's always cheerful. Like, she can light up any room with positivity. She's just so cheerful, and that's a very important thing, because not everyone is able to be that cheerful for the amount of times that Yotsuba is, but she manages to pull that off very, very well. And the fact that she puts all the other quintuplets in her family, she puts the other 4 girls before herself. The best example of that is when the quintuplets and Futaro are discussing their plans for the trip to Kyoto. Yotsuba says, "Let's all be in a group together," and Nino points out that, but only 5 people can be in a group at once, and that there's 6 of us. And Yotsuba says, "Yeah, the 4 of you and Futaro, and I'll drop out." The fact that because Yotsuba is just that selfless, that she would willingly take herself out of the equation to give so the other 4 girls could be with Futaro. However, my dislike for Yotsuba is actually quite similar, in the way that she literally cannot say no to anything or anyone. Basically, there could be something very, very important going on in her life, but if someone else asks her to help them with something, she will still do it, even if the thing that's going on in her life is more important than what she's been asked to do. That's the thing. She does not have a backbone to say no to people. And it sounds a bit harsh. It's like, why would you... But Yotsuba being helpful to people is a good thing. Yes. But when you're always helpful to people, you always do... If someone asks you to help them with something and you always do it, you're leaving yourself open to be taken advantage of. And we all know, and none of us want to see Yotsuba taken advantage of. See, she's too pure for that to happen. But yeah, it was very difficult picking between number 2 and number 3 and number 2. It was going to be a lot easier. Like Yotsuba for me was going to be nailed on. Was going to be nailed on for number 3, but due to the kindness she shows in the final couple of episodes of season 2, it made her so much harder to pick whether I should give her number 3, or maybe bump her up to number 2. But no, she doesn't quite make the jump, and she remains at the number 3 spot. Coming in at the number 2 spot is Itsuki. It was an incredibly tough choice between who would go in spot number 3 and spot number 2. If we were looking at season 1, Itsuki has this spot nailed on. But Yotsuba's kindness and thoughtfulness towards the end of season 2 almost got her the number 2 spot. But no, Itsuki snatches the spot back to keep herself there. And why does she get that spot? Well, number 1, she has red hair. So she instantly gets a bonus point for that. Because there's just this weird thing about me where I just love red hair specifically on girls. I don't know why I do, I just do. So, a bit biased, but she gets a bonus point just for that. What else do I like about her? Well, her motivation for wanting to become a teacher is very admirable. And sometimes she even sorts out to take responsibility for herself, where she doesn't always go to Futuro like the others. She takes responsibility and studies on her own, which shows her growth from when she first met Futuro to now. And another little bit of bias, she's incredibly cute when she's flustered. She looks adorable. And now, onto the only thing I really dislike about her is she tries to be her mom way too much. She tries to mother all of the others, despite she's the youngest out of them all. And she just tries too much to act too much like her mom. She needs to realise that she is not her mom. She is Itsuki Nakano. She is her own person. Take that and be the best you can be. Don't try to be someone else. Try to be the best you. So yeah, that's the only real thing I have about Itsuki that I dislike, and that's why she comes in second place at that number 2 spot. And coming in at the number 1 spot, the only quintuplet I haven't mentioned yet, it's Miku. Not only that, but Miku is the only quintuplet out of the 5 of them who has been nailed on for this very spot the entire time. As I said, between seasons 1 and 2, Nino and Ichika swapped places, and with Itsuki and Yotsuba, the 2 of them remained in the places I already had them, but they were much closer than I originally thought they would be. But yeah, Miku comes in at number 1, and she was always going to, because in this show, in the Quintessential Quintuplets, Miku is best girl. Why is that? Well, number 1, she's so undeniably cute, and she always tries her best at everything she does. The best example of this is the cook-off that she had with Nino when they battled for the position of the bakery where Futuro works at. They had a bake-off against each other, and the winner would get hired at Futuro's bakery. Miku, knowing that Nino is the best cook out of the 5 of them, knew she was probably going to lose, but still went for it anyway and tried her best. She did it. Of course, she did lose, but that has never stopped her from giving up. And again, this might be a little bit biased, but her confession to Futuro is, in my opinion, the best one yet. It's the most wholesome and the best one in terms of how it was set up. None of the other confessions really had any build up to them. If you think about it, they just happened. Whereas Miku's confession had a ton of build up. But the one thing I should say I don't like about Miku is she runs away from her problems way too much. Even in the final episode of season 2, when she finally does confess to Futuro, she was running away from her problems. Even then, it took the help of the 4 other quintuplets in order to help her finally build up the courage to confess to Futuro. But that's the only thing I dislike about her, and she finally did overcome that obstacle, so you never know, in season 3, maybe Miku won't have that problem as often, which will be great to see. But yeah, that is why Miku comes in at number 1. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. That's going to be it for Quintessential Quintuplets videos for a while, unless I come up with another idea. Probably until 2022, if hopefully that's when season 3 will be happening. But yeah. Thank you everybody for watching, and until next time, catch you later.